Good kill, good kill. Hey, good kill.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're here in the Mig-29 Fulcrum. We're doing one of my favorite fights to do because I find it challenging, but also very rewarding at the same time. We're doing the Mig-29 versus the F-18 Hornet in a Fox 2 fight high off bore sight. And the reason I like this fight so much is because I actually think these aircraft, despite having somewhat different characteristics, they perform kind of similarly in the fight. It's kind of an even fight. And I think that makes it kind of interesting. Based on pilot skill, obviously that matters. But the Mig-29 here does some really interesting stuff, which, you know, we'll talk about as the video goes by. Into the merge here, we're going to go one circle. And let me see if we can get a lock here. He is carrying the 9X, which is a dangerous missile. Kind of going above him. He's got me locked. He did shoot a Fox 2 that didn't track. My Fox 2 almost tracks. Does a nice little loop. But doesn't look like mine's coming back. Oh!
Left engine fire.
Oh my god.
Right engine fire.
Great. So my missile didn't come back, but his did. I think his first 9X came all the way back around. So that's nice. That's a new thing that those missiles are doing, by the way. The 9X. I've not seen the Archer do it yet, but the Archer does other crazy things, which I'm sure we'll see in this fight. Good kill to the Hornet. So one of the things that is very, very important in this fight is the differential thrust, or the asymmetric thrust, whatever you want to call it, for the Mig-29. We've done that in other aircraft, but as I've mentioned before, the effect of differential thrust is very noticeable on the Mig-29. One, because of the separation of the engines, but also because of the thrust-to-weight ratio of the actual aircraft. So it's one of... In my opinion, if you're not using it in the Mig-29 in these high off-bore sight fights, you might be limiting yourself pretty dramatically. Into the merge here. Here he goes. I'm using the differential thrust almost always to get this thing to roll with the Hornet. The Mig-29 displays similar nose authority characteristics to the Hornet for 1 or 2 turns at slow speeds. Can't keep up with the Hornet, you know, through multiple turns. I fired that Fox 2 with no track, unfortunately. I had a lock there. He's underneath me. We got the flat scissor going. And look at this. We're going back in the roller with him. If I can just get the lock. This is actually a lot harder than it looks. We're a little too close anyway. If I get the lock, there's not much I can do. The missiles are min-ranged. Or the WEZ is jammed, if you will. The weapon employment zone is jammed. You can hear that he didn't have a lock on me either this whole time. Where is he? Oh, yeah, there he goes. It's really hard, actually, to get a lock. Kind of behind me here. I don't love it. Here he goes underneath. I pulled the nose up to slow myself down. I'm going to roll, always using that differential thrust. And then counter, you know, I turn on the other engine to stop the roll. So it's actually, it becomes pretty intuitive after a while. It does take some practice though. Flat scissor will turn the other way. Roll on top, give me the lock. There we go. Fox 2 inverted. And it's tracking Splash 1. He knew he was in trouble there. He was dumping the flares. There we go. Good kill. So yeah, I can't emphasize how much of a difference I feel like the differential thrust makes in the MiG-29. And you can easily over-rotate the aircraft by using the differential thrust, so you have to be ready to counter the spin by turning on the other engine and reducing the one that's inducing the roll. So again, it sounds complicated, but the more you practice with it, it becomes second nature. I think maybe the MiG-29 can even do some wild things in the one circle like the F-15, who also benefits quite dramatically from differential thrust. The only problem is I can't really do a high off bore sight fight with the F-15 because it doesn't have an HMD. But maybe a guns only fight where we could do one circle fights between these two and see both aircraft just do some absolutely nutty things with the differential thrust. Here we go. Into the merge here, one circle once again. Think of differential thrust as a poor man's thrust vectoring, if you will. Oh, I messed it up. He's on my 6 here. We got to roll around his nose. Couple of flares in case he had a lock there, which you could hear he did. He had the RWR going off there. And he's dropping a few flares. Notice that he flares when he feels that he's in an IR WES. I'm kind of doing the same. Otherwise, you're just kind of wasting the flares. When he feels like the WES is jammed or he's min-ranging my missiles, he's not dropping flares. Here we go. Look at this. This is all differential thrust. Oh, almost had him with guns there. And we got ourselves a nice slow fight. Look at this. Oh, he's trying to point his nose. I think it went right over my head there. And hold on, I'm not going to roll with him. I'm going to do a flat scissor. I'm going to try to reverse the turn the other way. And you see my nose straight up. He fired a Fox 2 there. It had no track. He's pointing the nose at me though. I think I'm in trouble here. He has a Fox 2 off.
Left
yeah.
engine fire.
Oof.
Radar.
Good kill. Very good kill. So the issue there, I got a little too slow up high, expected him to go underneath and shoot out in front. Unfortunately, he had the separation where when I did that and I became stationary in the air, he just pointed his nose, fired a Fox 2, and I died. An excellent kill. And you can kind of get a handle for how much of these fights come down to pilot skill by watching these. In the last fight, like, you know, completely pilot error is the reason why the MiG-29 was killed. I just didn't read the situation correctly. He may have read it better than me when he saw me kind of like pull the nose up and try to air brake the aircraft. He was like, oh, perfect. He's going to be slow and, you know, stuck up there for a few seconds. Gives me time to create some separation, shoot a Fox 2. And he did exactly that, and it was perfect. It's not the MiG-29's fault, right? The MiG-29 was performing admirably, staying with the Hornet through those fights, through those turns, those rolls, everything. It was doing a fantastic job. Into the merge here once again, one circle with a Hornet. Remember, in these fights, you can't go two circle just because you'll create too much separation and it'll result in a mutual kill between the two aircraft. That's the case with the high off bore sight Fox 2s at least. Look at this, he's up high. I just can't get the lock I need. He's rolling around. Just trying to stay with him here. Oh, look at that. We're nice and tight. Very close. Oh, gunshot. Dead. That is a good example of pilot error. I basically held the Mig-29 still, and he flew the Hornet through my funnel. I just held down the trigger. There is a part of me that wonders if the Mig-29 maybe gets a bit of a bad rap because of the fact that so many were shot down because it was such an export variant aircraft. You know, people from countries that maybe don't have the best training or funding in order to constantly send pilots up to be trained, get a lot of flight hours. They were buying a lot of Mig-29s. And when it came to a conflict, a lot of Mig-29s were getting shot down. I wonder if the Mig-29, you know, maybe had more to offer in the hands of a pilot who maybe had some more training. Into the merge here. And we're going to stay nice and tight here. I'm going to roll with him. Using differential thrust to stop the spin. Now he's kind of behind me here, so I'm going to just dodge the nose a little, roll again, get myself the lock, and Fox 2, and oh, he's dead. Wow, look at that. Remember how I was saying the archers do crazy things? Look at the range at which that archer hit the Hornet. So maybe they're not doing loops like the 9X, but it is incredibly hard to jam the Wes on the archer these days. He was, what, just a few feet in front there, and the archer still managed to hit him. Which, you know, you could probably argue is more useful than a missile that loops.